How is this possible? How can she unbuckle? A 19-year-old Serbian student, a female student, dies after panic attack causes fatal fall while paralyzing in Montenegro. The incident occurred when she suffered a panic attack midair and unbuckled her safety harness while parasailing approximately 45 to 50 meters above the Adriatic Sea, causing her to fall to her death. Ultimately, it raises concerns about paralyzing safety and the responsibility of tour operators. Now let's get into the story, actually how it happened.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're taking a focused look at a single really tragic event, one that grabbed headlines and definitely raised some challenging questions.
Yeah, a very difficult story.
We've got a stack of sources here, basically excerpts from a news report detailing a devastating parasailing accident.
Mm-hmm.
Our mission in this deep dive is to, well, really unpack what happened, try to understand the sequence of events as they're reported in this material we have,
Right.
explore the different perspectives shared within it, and, see what insights this tragic situation might offer us about risk, human reactions under pressure, and that difficult search for answers.
That's right. We'll be sifting through the specific details provided in the report, trying to understand the known facts, the circumstances as they're presented there, and maybe the broader implications this incident brought up. We'll be sticking strictly to the information in the source you shared.
Okay, good. Let's start with the basics then, the ones the report lays out. Who are we talking about here? What exactly happened? Where and when did this take place?
Okay, so we're looking at the heartbreaking death of 19-year-old Tijana Radonjic. The report identifies her as a student and also something of a TikTok personality from Serbia.
Right, I remember reading that.
And the incident occurred while she was on holiday. This was in Budva, Montenegro.
Okay.
The specific date mentioned in the report is May 28, 2025.
Got it, May 28th.
And the material states she fell approximately 50 meters, which is, over 160 feet,
Wow.
straight into the Adriatic Sea during a parasailing flight.
Yeah. Okay, let's try and unpack the moments leading up to that fall, according to the report. What did the eyewitness accounts describe seeing initially?
Well, the eyewitnesses quoted in the report, they describe her initially appearing quite relaxed, cheerful even before she took off.
Mm-hmm.
They apparently saw her wave to friends down on the beach after she was securely fastened into the harness. Everything seemed fine at that point.
Right. Seems normal.
But here's where it gets really interesting and, frankly, incredibly distressing. The report mentions there's some distressing footage.
Footage?
Yeah, though it apparently hasn't been publicly released. But this footage reportedly shows visible panic while she was up in the air.
Visible panic. Okay. And then does the report detail a specific sequence of actions she reportedly took while airborne?
Yes, it does. And it's a crucial part of the report's narrative. It says she first tried to kind of lift herself up using the side straps of the harness.
Okay, trying to adjust or...
It seems like it.
Yeah.
Following that, the report states she reportedly unbuckled her safety harness and her life jacket.
Both.
Both.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Then, witnesses apparently saw her twist in her seat.
Twist?
Yeah, twist. And reportedly flip upside down. And then she fell through the leg braces of the harness.
Oh, my goodness. The report also includes some chilling details about what people actually heard from the ground, doesn't it?
It does, absolutely.
Yeah.
Beachgoers apparently heard her screaming in fear.
Screaming?
Yeah. And several accounts captured her last words. Things like cries of, "Put me down," and "Help me."
Put me down, help me.
The report suggests that this points towards, well, perhaps a sudden and really intense panic attack while she was up there.
That makes a certain kind of horrifying sense, I suppose. Now, the report also touches on some context around why she might have been parasailing that day. What does it mention about that?
Right. It includes some initial reports suggesting she might have been doing it as part of a promotional video shoot.
A promotional shoot?
Yeah, potentially arranged by a local tourism agency. Maybe the suggestion was in exchange for a free ride.
Okay.
The idea, as reported, was allegedly to capture this sort of carefree experience, for social media.
Right, the kind of thing you see online.
Exactly. But what's fascinating here, and the report points this out, is that the details around the exact purpose of that flight and also her specific mental state right at that moment, they remain uncertain based on the information gathered so far for the report.
Uncertain. And the report, it also addresses some pretty difficult speculation that came up publicly afterwards, correct?
It does address that, yes. While some, initial sources speculated about the possibility of suicide.
Which is a heavy thing to speculate.
Absolutely. But the report is very clear in stating that her friends and family firmly reject that idea. Completely.
Okay. That's important context from the report.
Very. The report says they point instead to other possibilities. Things like intense panic, maybe disorientation, or just confusion setting in while she was at that height. Those are the potential explanations they offer, as reported.
Right.
And just to be clear, we're just presenting what the source material includes here, but the speculation that was out there and the family's strong denial and their alternative view, as it's reported. We're not endorsing any specific view.
Understood. Just laying out what the report contains. Okay, moving on then. What does the report tell us about the parasailing company's perspective? Did they issue a statement?
They did. The company stated, according to the report, that she completed a safety briefing before the flight.
Standard procedure, presumably.
Yes. And that she showed no prior signs of anxiety when interacting with their staff.
Okay.
The owner is actually quoted in the report, expressing condolences, of course, but also saying, and I'm quoting loosely here, she was cheerful and in a good mood before the flight.
Right, which matches those initial eyewitness bits.
It does. He continues, we don't know why she unbuckled her seatbelt and harness and jumped out. I guess she didn't do it consciously, but maybe in a moment of uncontrollable fear. So it's interesting to see that perspective included, too.
Yeah, that uncontrollable fear idea echoes the panic attacks suggestion. So what does the report indicate about the official response? Where do things stand with the investigation according to this source?
Well, authorities are conducting a full investigation. That's according to the material we have.
A full investigation, meaning?
It involves technical inspection of all the parasailing equipment that was used.
Checking the gear. Makes sense.
Exactly. And also examining the actions of the tour operators involved and just the overall circumstances surrounding the event, trying to piece it all together.
Yeah, right.
The report also mentions that the autopsy results were still pending at the time it was published, so some key information was still outstanding then.
Okay, pending results. Now, beyond the sort of factual details and the investigation status, the report really does bring home the human impact of this tragedy, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's palpable in the source material. Her death, it says, left her family, her friends, and even her online followers in just deep shock.
Understandably.
The report includes some incredibly heartfelt tributes. You read statements like her parents saying, we will never come to terms with this. You will remain in our hearts forever. Our bravest, rest in peace. Just heartbreaking.
Yeah, that's incredibly sad.
And her aunt's tribute is particularly poignant. The report quotes her mentioning things they had planned, beach outings, coffee, laughter.
Normal life stuff?
Exactly. And the sudden, awful reality of planning a funeral instead of celebrating a graduation. She's quoted saying, we should have celebrated your graduation, not sent you off. It's hard, doesn't it?
It really does. Wow.
Your friends, too. They remembered her as lively, fearless, joyful. The report includes quotes like, if I could choose who to spend my childhood with, I would choose you again.
Oh, wow.
And another one. She was full of life, always smiling. She never cared about what others thought of her. These details, right from the report, they just underscore the immense personal loss.
Yeah, it paints a picture beyond just the incident itself.
Definitely. And if we try to connect this back to the bigger picture, the tragic death, as the report frames it, has certainly raised serious concerns over parasailing safety protocols.
Respect that.
Right. And the responsibility that tour operators have, particularly when offering these kinds of, let's face it, high-risk activities.
Yeah.
So while her family, as the report notes, understandably seeks clarity and justice, the broader tourism community is also sort of awaiting the investigation's outcome, according to the source.
And as the report reminds us through those powerful tributes, she's remembered not just as, a social media figure, but fundamentally as a beloved daughter, a friend, a student whose life was just tragically cut short.
Life cut short, yeah.
This deep dive into the specific details presented in that news report, it certainly gives you a lot to consider.
It really does. It lays out that heartbreaking sequence of events, as reported. It highlights the sort of contrasting descriptions of her state, cheerful before, panic during, and it points to the complex questions now sitting at the heart of the ongoing investigation.
Yeah.
And it really raises, I think, an important question for all of us, maybe. How do we truly assess risk? especially when you're dealing with activities where, well, unpredictable human reactions like sudden intense panic or maybe disorientation at extreme heights are a potential factor.
It's the unpredictability, isn't it?
Exactly. What does the report's description of this incident imply about the responsibilities, both for the adventure tourism operators and for the participants themselves, in trying to mitigate risks like this? It's a significant question, something to ponder as the investigation into this specific tragedy continues.
Should parasailing companies be held liable if a participant unbuckles safety equipment mid-air? What's your thought on this? Comment it. Thanks.